The official Hogwarts Legacy X account officially stated on January the 26th that the Hogwarts Legacy's PlayStation-exclusive content will be available on other platforms later this summer, with additional updates and features for the game coming to Hogwarts later this year. But what does that all really mean, and what new content can we expect in this game, which hasn't had anything new added to it since launch over 12 months ago? Well, first of all, at the time of recording this video for you, there is a hidden video that has been added to the official Hogwarts Legacy playlist on YouTube, which I didn't recall seeing before Christmas. So we've clearly got an announcement trailer of some kind due to go live, and I wouldn't at all be surprised if it's an anniversary announcement video recap from the studio, or perhaps a future content roadmap update trailer discussing what's to come in a little bit more detail this year off the back of that tweet. But let's go through what this PlayStation exclusive content will be, because if you played Hogwarts Legacy on any other platform that wasn't a PS4 or PS5, then you wouldn't have had access to these bonuses during your playthrough. That was, of course, the Haunted Hogsmeade quest, which was, in my honest opinion, probably one of the best quests in the whole game. I think it's criminal that it was put behind an exclusive, but those are the times we're living in right now, as well as taking ownership of that Hogsmeade shop itself as an additional vendor point in-game when you were near Hogsmeade. You also picked up a Felix Felicis recipe, which allows you to brew a Felix Felicis potion, which after consuming showed all of the lootable chests on your minimap for 48 minutes at a time, which I honestly found really quite helpful when I was grinding out that 100% completion. Now, as this has been confirmed to become available to you players who don't own a PlayStation this summer, I think Avalanche here are going to announce all of this stuff on top of other in-game features and updates as an even further incentive to bring us players back into the game, because as much as I love Hogwarts Legacy, there really isn't anything to do after you completed the main storyline and side activities in the game, which we can see reflected in the monthly player count dropping from over 800,000 players at its peak on Steam, so just on PC, not including console here, and then after a month or so after launch to an average of 8,000 players a day according to Steam-based stats. And if we combine that with the words from the CEO of Warner Bros, David Zaslav, who stated in a financial Q3 call to shareholders last year, he said that the company will be focusing on producing games that have a live service aspect with an increase in post-purchase revenue, which essentially means that they're going to be focused on making content which we as customers can purchase after buying the main game. That's my interpretation anyway. So it's quite clear that this summer onwards will be the start of a steady stream of Hogwarts Legacy content updates until we pick up a sequel in 2025 or 2026, in line with Avalanche's target development cycle of 3 to 4 years, as stated by WB CEO in that same financial call. So with all of that in mind, I would be really surprised if the Hogwarts Legacy team released a big content update this summer that would then cause a huge influx of players to then re-enter the game and then suddenly disappear after a couple weeks once we've all finished that content that's been added. Essentially just like the main game, but it will be a lot quicker to complete. Now that goes against what the big boss is saying he wants the company and the studios to do when producing games right now. And if it's a free update, they also don't pick up any significant revenue as a business because it's 18 months after its initial release. And let me remind you, Hogwarts Legacy was the best-selling game of 2023, pulling in over $1 billion, and with Warner Bros. Other games recently failing to make a significant dent financially, it's very important for them as a business to start building regular income, and I think they'll do this with Hogwarts Legacy by adding a DLC or continual DLCs with cost approximations around 15 to 13 euros, dollars and pounds, in line with what the going rate is for these type of additional expansions off the main game, like Assassin's Creed Valhalla did with the Dawn of Ragnarok DLC a year and a half after its launch, both of these games being similar, of course, as big open world RPGs. Now, of course, I would absolutely love to be wrong here, and perhaps this expansion is completely free, where PlayStation exclusive content is added alongside a photo mode feature in game so the community can create wonderful snaps of the world that Avalanche have created. I think that's a really big missed opportunity from launch there, and perhaps even a new game plus option where we'll be able to replay the game with all of our gear, spells and money intact. The thing is though, due to the nature of how the game was made, with the Room of Requirement being unlocked through storyline quests alongside spells becoming available after certain narrative stages, I'm not sure if a new game plus feature would be feasible because of these hard locks behind progression walls, or if it was, the only thing I could see being carried across is your clothes, overall level, and perhaps all the money that you've accumulated in game, which isn't a big incentive in my opinion for New Game Plus. In fact, I reckon they've probably thought about this and have allocated resources to generating new content that is replayable for current players, as it kind of keeps us in the game more regularly, driving engagement figures for Avalanche and Warner Bros, and also allows Avalanche to test the waters when it comes to live service development before Hogwarts Legacy 2, where they can continue to release biannual updates of new replayable content rather than spending a lot of development time making the game replayable with one character in its current form. Apart from the specific house quests early on in the game and the 2 optional good and bad endings and the one true ending, well, you could consider that the one true ending in the Great Hall, there's not really much incentive to play through to max level doing the same quests over and over again, as there is no morality system and the choices you make in quests don't actually have a kind of butterfly effect and change the overall ending in any meaningful way. Now, if we're potentially getting content which is replayable, what kind of stuff can we expect this year? Bearing in mind the team would have had a year and a half from launch to develop new content. Well, my first thought goes straight to the battle arenas that we have in game, with 2 being available in the main game for any player, and the Dark Arts Battle Arena being kind of a bonus one available to those of you who purchased the digital deluxe edition, which I can definitely see being included in this update in the summer alongside the Dark Arts cosmetic set and the Thestral Man, as previous studios like Ubisoft, just an example, have released all of their pre-order bonuses later down the line in future updates to generate hype and get people back into the game, which is what I think this is. Now, I think there's also a few other options available here. The first is adding in more duels to be completed against more advanced students and enemies in the Crossed Wands Dueling Club, or perhaps they follow what Sucker Punch Studios did with Ghost of Tsushima back in late 2020, where the team released a co-op multiplayer mode that was separate from the main open world RPG storyline, where 3 of your friends and you could pick a specific class and fight waves of enemies and boss battles from the main game, leveling up your character and earning new cosmetics for that main game. In fact, this was so popular at the time that Legends became its own standalone purchase for $19 on the PlayStation Store, which means you didn't need to buy the full Ghost of Tsushima game to play this online co-op mode if you didn't want to. And with Sucker Punch Studios being owned by PlayStation and Avalanche Studios already having a very close relationship with Sony through their exclusive content deals and development before the game's launch, I don't think it's a far-fetched connection to make here as a possible game update this year or next, as it falls in line with what the CEO's aims are in terms of live service engagement and revenue. I've actually spoken regularly about this in videos I've made on YouTube and the awesome streams and conversations I've had with other Hogwarts Legacy content creators over the last year and a half, where for me, the single player content has to be the primary focus here. But after that's all said and done, being able to go dungeon running in the already established caves in the game with friends, where we can successfully take down a mountain troll together or go broom racing against one another with new courses to complete around the world, would be great fun. Or even perhaps we'll be able to play Quidditch in Hogwarts Legacy after the new Quidditch Champions game has had enough time to breathe, which should be releasing in the next 6 months. Now, to put this idea or prospect in perspective a little bit more, GTA 5 Online was released in October 2013, so over 10 years ago, and continues to make $500 million per year for Rockstar just through all the quarterly and biannual content updates and the GTA Plus subscription service that they offer players who, for several dollars a month, can pick up exclusive in-game cosmetics and items. And the thing with this is you can completely ignore GTA Online and its subscription service and just play the main open world story on the menu here, but you can then also go and rob banks and casinos in planned co-op heists with your friends in the online game, which is a copy of the main game map, by the way. Now, I'm not saying Hogwarts Legacy is going to follow GTA in this manner starting this summer, but there's some really good ideas here in that format, where if you just want to play the main game and then get lost in the narrative and the magical world that Avalanche have created, you can definitely do that. But there's also the option here to explore Hogwarts Legacy together with your friends and complete community challenges in co-op online, which which would also be a very enjoyable streaming experience with the community as a whole. And I'll be putting together a full video soon about everything that we could potentially expect from Hogwarts Legacy online, so definitely worth subscribing if you fancy watching that. But what do you actually think about all of this? Which way can you see Hogwarts Legacy going in the next couple months and years? Share your thoughts down below with me and everyone else in the comments, and also check out this next Hogwarts Legacy video where I go over all of the changes that I think that we need to see in Hogwarts Legacy 2 and why it will make the next game even better than the first. Big thanks to Nika for helping me make this video. Butterbeer is on her again, and I'll catch you in that next Hogwarts Legacy video in just a moment.